Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chelsea, you know that, I know that, and I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but not only am I just a lady with a bulldog, a camera, and too many opinions, but I'm also sick. Sick and tired of Mikayla Nogueira, that is.
This is probably going to be me crying on the internet again.
Okay, in all seriousness, I am sick, so listen, that's why we got a blanket. That's why we're going to be chugging Gatorade. That's why my voice sounds like this, okay? But when you work for yourself, you don't get days off. Now you might be thinking, Chelsea, another Mikayla video? Yes, girl, another one. Don't act like you don't love it when I talk about her. Because from what I have heard from other people, some people are like real mean, like literally calling her ugly. That's not right. Don't do that. That's mean. However, I have gotten good feedback from quite a lot of people saying that they do like how I approach it and all that. So yeah, we're going to make another Mikayla video. Get over it. I'm excited, especially because the topic of today's video is Mikayla Nogueira morally bankrupt. And of course, this is stemming from Mikayla's luxury item haul that she did last week or the week before. And it's pretty crazy how much money she spent, and she's like makes a joke like, oh, I blacked out, and then proceeds to show over 2 videos upwards of like $200,000 to $300,000 worth of luxury items. And it's like, girl, half the people who are watching this video probably have like $4 in their account. Like statistically, that's got to be true, right? Before we get too far into this video, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, which is Nutrafol, the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand. Unlike traditional products that focus on a singular cause, Nutrafol takes a whole body approach. They use medical grade, clinically effective ingredients to target multiple causes affecting hair health, including hormones, metabolism, stress, lifestyle, nutrition, and aging. You can feel great about what you're putting into your body since Nutrafol hair growth supplements are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF Contents certified, the gold standard and third-party certification for supplements. Over 4,500 top doctors and stylists recommend Nutrafol for an effective and high-quality solution to healthier hair. Take Nutrafol's online quiz to figure out what solution is best for you. Personally, I took the quiz. Thanks to that quiz, it was very easy for me to figure out that Nutrafol's postpartum line is what's going to work best for me to work into my daily vitamin regimen. Take Nutrafol once daily with a meal. Consistency is key to see results within 3 to 6 months. I personally have seen a difference in the volume of my hair and then also a big decrease of that postpartum shedding that I was dealing with. Nutrafol is offering my audience $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping if you use the code CCSUAREZ at Nutrafol.com/CCSUAREZ. So click the link in my description box. It's on screen right now, Nutrafol.com/CCSUAREZ. And thank you again, Nutrafol, for sponsoring this video. Now, we've talked about it before, but TikTok isn't just a social app. It's truly a chaos machine. The platform is engineered to amplify whatever gets the most clicks, comments, shares, which often means the messiest and most divisive content. Its algorithm doesn't just reward outrage. It literally pays for outrage through the creator fund and ad revenue, incentivizing people to churn out rage bait and engagement bait. And the result is a digital coliseum where creators know the fastest way to go viral isn't by being thoughtful or nuanced, but by provoking, polarizing, and stirring up chaos. So what is being morally bankrupt? It means having or acting as if one has no morals or ethical values. It's a metaphor that compares a complete lack of ethical principles to being financially bankrupt. So there are characteristics of a morally bankrupt person, and that could be lack of conscience. They don't appear to be guided by a moral compass or a sense of right and wrong. Self-interest above all, their decisions are motivated by pure self-indulgence with little to no regard for the well-being of others. Absence of justification. Unlike those who perform cruel acts but try to justify them by twisting logic, a morally bankrupt person may not even bother to justify their actions to themselves or anyone else. Abandonment of core values. Some people become morally bankrupt after repeatedly trading away or violating their own core values. Unprincipled behavior. Their behavior is often characterized as unethical, corrupt, unscrupulous, or dishonest. I love that word, unscrupulous. Now, just keep all of that in mind as we go over a cycle that we seem to be subjected to with Mikayla. She'll put out a video crying about something, and then she'll either launch something or she will be thrown into a controversy, or like something will come out that will incite controversy. So it's like, instead of sad fishing and doing a video or it's talking about something that is going to make people feel bad for her, it's kind of genius because she's doing it before said thing happens that could make people not like her.
I blacked out kind of bad. So let's do my biggest luxury unboxing literally ever.
All I want to know is, girl, how much have you spent? And of course, I'll give you the total at the end.
Literally feel like Becca Bloom right now. Let's start with Prada. In my shopping blog, this was the bag you guys wanted me to get the most.
First up, we have this Prada bag that I could only find in another country, but converted to around £4,000. Next up, £2,500. Another Prada bag, £1,980. The pink bag converted to £1,450. £7,300.
I'm literally just getting started.
Bringing Michaela's total for part one to £40,814. Don't worry, it gets bigger in part two. £122,310.
Now, I know a lot of people have a hard time imagining that Michaela would be able to spend that much money and just like at the drop of a hat. And that's for most of the population. That's like absolutely unbelievable. Like something that most people, the majority of people, would not be able to do ever in their lifetime, right? But Michaela has made a lot of money. A lot of money, not only through TikTok views, because her videos are pushed out so much, not only from like whitelisting ad reads, which she doesn't disclose typically, but she, on the back end, when you're doing like a review or something, or a lot of people will work it into their sponsorships, like up front with brands. Like for instance, I did it with, I can't even remember who I did it with now, but I've done it a few times. I think I did it with Beam. I think I did it with Dossier. And then there was another one I did it with where we worked in the whitelisting rights, and they could basically take the ad read that I made for them and like post it on their own page for a certain amount of time and like pump that out. And a lot of times you will see that on TikTok and other social media platforms. And so, I mean, that's so easy. That's such a great way for you to, you know, continue to make money from an ad read or sponsorship or any deal that you're working on. And then also TikTok Shop, and then also her own brand and any type of affiliate marketing and stuff like that too. But according to Forbes, Michaela earned $7.8 million in the first 6.5 months of 2025. That is so much money. Oh my God. That's crazy. That is crazy. I feel like because I don't have lipstick on, I look even more sick than I am. So you know what? We're just going to put on a little something so that I don't look sickly. And for those asking, this is just a Ciate London velvet lip liner, and I don't know the color. It does not say it, so that's unfortunate. This is very old. This is expired. So let's do a little internet temperature check, because a lot of people are not happy about, or rather just have like a sour taste in their mouth left from the like luxury hauls that Michaela posted on TikTok recently. So this creator was basically defending it and saying that, basically talking about like the tax write-offs and stuff. And it's like, girl, that's not the point. Like, I don't need to see her profit and loss report to know that like that's icky, especially when you're someone who has gained your following for being like, I don't want to say like being the everyday woman, but being an unconventional type of pretty, I guess. And that, I mean, she's even said that herself. And a lot of people have related to her and all that. And I'm not saying like, oh, well, once you become successful and all that, then you're, you know, not relatable anymore. But no, there's a way to become successful, buy the you want, all that, without pushing it into your followers' faces. And it's just icky. And along with that, it's the overconsumption. For instance, when Michaela was doing her haul, she's like, oh, a night out with the girls. And I'm like, girl, you don't have friends. From what I've seen, she could. Okay. But like, from what I've seen, like you don't really leave your house much and like you don't really have friends. Also, are you trying to get robbed? We'll go over that in a minute too. But like, what are you doing? Like posting this type of shit's dangerous, especially when you don't have a wall around your house. You don't live in a gated community. Like what? Y'all remember that one time at Jaclyn Hill did an unboxing of a Chanel bag she really wanted that she like had saved for? She didn't have to save for it, but she said that she did, and like was very intentional with it and like did an unboxing and was so excited that she was able to get this bag. That bitch got like canceled for that. And like so many people were disgusted about it, but like this is okay. Also, a lot of the stuff that Michaela bought is just absolutely hideous. Like, listen, I love Louis Vuitton. I love it. It's one of the only designers I will buy. Mr. Louis Vuitton makes mistakes sometimes. Okay.
Okay, you know the influencer Mikayla Nogueira and her luxury haul from the other day where some people say $100,000 worth of crap. Some people say $200,000 worth of crap. Regardless, she bought so much luxury stuff. So I was just telling my husband this story and I'm like, oh my God, like when is she even going to use all this stuff? It's wild. And then we were talking about how like influencers and how it affects children and blah, blah, blah. My husband had a point, and I'm curious to know if you think this is true. Do you think she wrote it all off? I'm telling him the story and he's like, yeah. And then she wrote it all off because she made content with it, which makes it fair game. Why did I not even think of that? She just wrote off $100,000+, $200,000+ of luxury goods because she made a video about it. And once you make a video about it, it's for work. I had not considered that. What do you think? You think she's writing everything she like puts in her videos? Think about it. How she shows off like all her home decorations. Like as a content creator, anything that you showcase in a video can technically be written off because it is for work. Is she writing all this stuff off? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure why that. I mean, obviously I'm a content creator. So like, yeah, if you're going to do a video about something, like you're going to use your business card to buy it instead of your personal card. So obviously, but still like that doesn't make it good. I feel like that aspect of it's irrelevant. Like, oh, that's so smart. No, it's not. It's not so smart or like so stupid. It's just like that's irrelevant to the conversation. That doesn't matter. Who cares how she paid for it or, you know, a write-off or it's the write-off people do it. But no, it's just it's overconsumption and it's gross. Did y'all see when Michaela was moving? So many shoes, like so just hideous shoes, might I add, which whatever, if that makes her happy, go for it. But it's like that's so much overconsumption. And it's like, girl, you spend so much money on this, but you couldn't get a house that had a wall around it. Instead, you got a house that was on the corner with fucking school buses driving by every day, multiple times a day, and everyone knows where you live. Like that's terrifying. No, girl, get a moat. If I had her money, you wouldn't be able to see my house from the driveway. There would be a big ass wall and security cameras and barbed wire and a moat with gators and attack llamas or something.
I'm going to be a little bit controversial here, but Michaela spending over $100,000 on her luxury shopping haul makes complete sense to me, and here's why it's going to make sense to you as well. In 2025, Michaela's earnings were expected to be about $7.8 million. So let's just say she did spend $100,000 on that shopping haul. Well, that's really only 1.28% of her income. And let me put it into perspective for you. There's a lot of money in the creator industry. If you make $100,000 a year, 1.2% of your income would be about $1,280. Let's just round it up to $1,300. And I can almost guarantee you that almost everybody in those comments and even watching my video spend more than $1,300 a year on coffee and lattes, eating out, and Sephora hauls, and you probably don't even blink an eye. And so Michaela, in perspective, is only spending the same amount you are relative to her income. So why should she blink an eye?
I don't like the fact that people are like uplifting this, and I think it's gross and acting like, oh, well, like you're missing the point. Awesome that you want to talk about lowering someone's taxable income. But again, I don't need to see her fucking profit and loss report. I don't care about that. Absolutely do not care. You know what she could also do? To lower her taxable income, she could donate to charity. She could donate to the charity that she was supposed to donate to, and it allegedly didn't and refuses to show actual like receipts and proof that she did when she sold her Glamlight collaboration palette and was crying about it and crying about Roe v. Wade. And it's like, girl, if you don't show those receipts that you actually donated, I'm going to lose my mind. So yeah, it's not like, oh, it's so smart. It's like, hey, it's out of touch. So for instance, thank God people are, you know, kind of clocking it. This person said, I agree that in the grand scheme of things, it's not much compared to her income. But using your logic, you need to think about the fact that people aren't just spending $1,300 on a one-time haul in a year, sure, but $1,300 for most people is something that they have to save up for. Like for a new bed, a new couch, house repairs. A lot of people are lucky to put a couple $100s into savings each month. She's welcome to do what she likes with her money, but needs to know that there might be backlash. And the creator who posted this said, my comparison is just to put the amount into perspective. She definitely knows she's going to get backlash for it, but if it aligns with her personal branding, she's going to continue to do it. And like realistically, Michaela's personal branding is rage bait and a fake accent, but that in itself, like why would you want to be known for that? Like there's not longevity with your career with that. Like that's embarrassing. Why would you want to do that and be known for that. Another one said, you're really not getting it, are you? It's not clocking to them.
You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you.
Why is someone who contributes nothing except an annoying voice on my For You page making so much? What about teachers and doctors and police who actually help society function? And how can she even think to spend that much money whilst children are actively starving and being killed instead of growing up and are becoming victims of war they didn't have any part in starting? When I cook meals, I am reminded of the fact that some do not have food. When I sit by my fireplace, I'm reminded that some people don't have warm homes. When my biggest problem is a difficult exam, I'm reminded of those who cannot sleep because of bombs. Well, that analogy doesn't really go hand in hand, but okay. I get their point. How can someone spend so frivolously when even a fraction of that money could change the trajectory of someone's life? I completely agree with that. And again, it's not to say like, okay, it's their money, let them do what they want with it. We don't know like if they are donating, but it's also like, I don't think she's donating that much. But I mean, I completely agree. I mean, for instance, even my husband and I got a white couch. It's cream colored, not white. However, I'm an idiot. Why did I do that? Why the hell, with an English bulldog and a toddler, did I think that I should get a white couch? You know how often I have to play, is that a poop smear or chocolate? That's not a fun game to play. So I've been like, damn, I want to get a new couch. But why do couches, like the ones that I want and the ones that are actually going to last longer and like have the storage space or like a pull-out thingy or whatever, and like are the configuration that we need and like possibly a leather one because that'll last forever. Why the fuck are all of those like $10,000? That makes no sense. So now I gotta like specifically be mindful and like put away for that. It's driving me insane, honestly. But then again, Michaela can just spend whatever. But I definitely understand like, okay, not playing the compare game and not feeling guilty and not being able to enjoy things that you have that you've worked hard for because there are other people suffering in the world. I completely understand that that's irrational. Let's not do that. But because of the way TikTok is, a lot of people do agree with this creator and agree with other people who are, you know, lifting it up, right? So this person said, I'll never understand how some influencers make more money than doctors. Another person said, no, for real though, why are people so mad at her spending her money on things she wanted? Someone said, honestly, I'm so happy for her. Nobody is out here analyzing what billionaires are spending. Why should we care? Not our money. Another one said, I don't know why people are so mad. What she spent her money on what she wants. Someone said, not 1.2%. It's less than 1%. And it's also a tax write-off. I know damn well she bought that on her business card. Why are people so mad? Like, I don't like her in particular or anything, but just scroll away. I mean, people are allowed to not like you. And also, I don't watch any of Michaela's content unless I'm making a video about her. But there is something to be said about the overconsumption that's being pushed at you. And then also the rage bait, which is why she makes any money online at all and why she has become who she is because of the rage bait. And then also the like morally bankrupt aspect that like goes hand in hand with those two things.
I just saw the Michaela haul video and my biggest takeaway is even Louis Vuitton makes mistakes. I actually have like kind of a conspiracy theory about this video, but one of my biggest takeaways, other than the fact that like Michaela, this just feels, it's just not a great look right now. It's just not a great look. And I also am genuinely concerned about the rate at which you're spending money. Like, I know that it's really fun right now, but like nothing lasts forever, okay? And I think anybody who's in this industry, who's been in it for a long time, would tell you to pump the brakes a little bit on how you're spending. But you know what? That's not the biggest thing that I want to say. The biggest thing I want to say is it was almost impressive how ugly everything was. Like, if you're gonna go and blow a bunch of money, she blew it on, actually, I don't mind this one, but each item somehow got progressively uglier. Also, like, I hate to say this, Michaela, but like, be so careful. Be so careful flaunting this amount of wealth. First of all, it feels gross. It just feels gross. And someone can come in and argue and be like, oh, you're just jealous. Listen, I would love to have a lot more money, but let me tell you, I wouldn't be spending it on all of that bullshit.
Like, have we learned nothing from Kim K to not flaunt things? Like, you're gonna get robbed. Not by me. Also, I had on a wig yesterday for a long ass time and I have not been feeling fantastic. So I didn't get to like scrub off my wig glue. So there's just a little bit left right here and it looks crazy. And I didn't realize how crazy it looked prior to pressing record. But you know what? This is real life, okay? This is real life and I feel like garbage. And that's about it, I guess. That's all I wanted to tell you. I was trying to like have my face this way for most of the video so you like couldn't see it, but there's no hiding this. So I love this person. I've never seen her videos and I really like everything she has to say so far. And I agree. I think that Michaela should absolutely pump the brakes. And I mean, you can be super famous on TikTok for whatever reason, but that can, I mean, if the OG YouTube beauty community has taught us anything, it's that don't last forever, okay? There are people that were making so much money and then now are not and are in like a resurgence of their careers kind of, or like in the second breath of their careers. A good example of that is Kathleen Lights. Like she's talked about that a good bit. And if anything, even when we were in Vegas together, because we did a little girls trip and Kathleen came for Jesse's birthday, but it's just like fascinating to hear her talk about that. And she's doing fine, but it's like really with this type of career, it's so fickle and like you can make so much money and then a few years, all of that can be gone. I just, every time I see her posting about like those luxury items and stuff and just like, look at how much money I spent and how many luxury items I have. And it's like, girl, you're going to get robbed. It's so scary. And no one that I know that has like makes way more money than Michaela. I know a few people that do. They aren't online like that, showing it off like that. Like you are just asking to become a target and that's scary. And like those people even do have security outside of their house 24/7. They do have walls around their properties and Michaela doesn't. And that's real scary.
Luxury hauls are scary because aren't you guys afraid of getting robbed? I'm so afraid of getting robbed. There have been expensive things that I've bought that I have not shared online because I'm afraid of someone running up on me and finding me and robbing me. Especially in today's day and age. Like, I don't know. I guess if you live in like a gated community and you have a bodyguard and you have security, then maybe, and I guess if you can afford that many things, you probably do have those things. But if you don't have those things and you're talking on the internet about these luxury things that you're buying, I don't know, maybe it's just how I was raised, but that's so scary. It's getting very French Revolution out here, and as it should be. You're kind of, I don't want to say you're asking for, I don't want to victim blame, but you know what I mean? And just to be clear, I'm not saying that you should be. I don't wish that on you, but it's a valid concern. It's a valid fear.
I completely agree with that. Like, girl, again, you spend this much money. You couldn't put that into... And when she bought her house, like, I even thought, like, there were big ass houses on really nice properties that are even nicer than the house that she got. Because, I mean, the house she got, it's ginormous. It's pretty ridiculous, personally. Because it's like, it's 2 of you and 2 dogs. Like, what are you doing? That's crazy. But listen, if she's like working out of her house and like has like her team there and stuff, I can kind of understand that. If it's like workspace too, I guess. I don't know. And a lot of YouTubers do have that, but it's just so gross and I hate that, and it like makes me worried for her. I feel like a good example of this is like, yeah, I don't have fucking security around me because I cannot afford that. I don't have like a wall around my house. I wish, but like I don't even wear my engagement ring anymore. Like that's in the safe. I wear this ring that says till death. And that's it. Like, I don't wear any like real jewelry anymore unless like I'm going to like a super nice event and my husband is like carrying and being my personal security basically. And I'm not even famous, but like I'm paranoid. That's for damn sure. But I mean, that can happen to anybody, you know? And I do like that girl said it's giving French Revolution. Yep, very dystopian. A lot of people are agreeing with that, and they said it's tasteless, especially in this economical climate. And someone said that happened to Harush. They robbed her house and took most of her purses. The people are making fun of her for saying things you've bought, which I did, that didn't even register to me. Another person said awareness is critical. Just you knowing the score makes you less likely to. House tours freak me out. Knowing the layout of the houses, doors and windows. That's a really good point as well. Another person said I almost sold all of my luxury goods. People treated me so differently when I got all that stuff. It was poor middle class that treated me different. People tried to take advantage. Rich people couldn't give a flying fuck what I wear or drive. So back to the moral bankruptcy of it all. Let's go through those quick little definitions and give some examples. So we have lack of conscience. They do not appear to be guided by a moral compass or sense of right and wrong. So we can check that box off in my opinion. Michaela doesn't seem to be bothered at all that millions of people are starving and unhoused. Instead, she chose to drop well into the 6 figures on luxury items and made 2 videos bragging about it online to her millions of followers. Self-interest above all else. Even if Michaela needed needed new clothes or shoes. Did she need to spend more than the cost of most people's homes and then brag about it online? No, she did not. And then justifying actions. Michaela isn't justifying her actions. However, she is taking trips to Walmart to try to seem more relatable, in my opinion. Abandonment of core values. Honestly, it has been years since Michaela has demonstrated her own core moral values, and she seems to be getting further away from that relatable everyday woman that is the reason why most people followed her. Unprincipled behavior. So using filters and then lying about it and saying that she doesn't. Lashgate, lying about sponsorships, giving fake reviews for products. Check, check, and check. Now, obviously, Michaela can do whatever she wants with her own money. Duh. And all that. And yes, she's still using filters. I did have a correction. I had a correction for one of my last videos. So I was doing a TikTok live and I was like, oh, hey, we should see if that like doggy filter really like pulls your skin when like you're not using a filter. Cause I was like, I'm not using a filter right now. And also I hardly will ever use filters, but I was like, let's see. And so someone did like the little corgi kissing gift and it did. And I was like, oh my gosh, we got to make a retraction. So I do apologize for that. I didn't think that the gifts on TikTok live and like the overlays and stuff would like affect your, like, why would it, you know? So that was very interesting. But everything else I said still stands. But yes, so I just do want to make a little retraction, a little correction with that. Anyways, so back to overconsumption and moral bankruptcy. So that, I mean, the overconsumption is really concerning. And I do think it goes past the point of it's your money, you can do whatever you want with it. Because of course, yes. But when you're posting about it publicly and in my opinion, making yourself a target, and also like the reason why you are able to buy all these things is because of the rage bait content that you create. And again, you can say all day long, no, like Michaela doesn't do rage bait. Yes, she does. Why do you think she posts that on TikTok? And she doesn't post rage bait on Instagram? Because rage bait doesn't perform well on Instagram, or as well. And on TikTok, it does. TikTok, like I said, is that chaos machine that does that. So keep that in mind. Why do you think that what's her name? Natalie Richards, is that her name? Why do you think like her making a fudge ton of money, like all of her videos have millions of views and she's so gross and should be locked in a room with padded walls. Yet here we are. She's making a lot of money, unfortunately, on TikTok. But then on other platforms, she's not able to make that much money or actually maintain like a following, because on TikTok, just because you follow someone on TikTok doesn't mean you're actually going to see their stuff. And a lot of times, like I follow a bunch of people, I don't see any of their shit. I follow Isabella Lanter on there, don't see almost any of her posts. I follow Sherilyn Dale, Hannah, hardly see any of their posts. Yet all of these clout goblins, like all of their content is just being pushed into my face. It's wild. It is so wild. Like, where's that really pretty Disney content creator? The one with the blonde hair who's obsessed with glitter? Where's she? Why isn't she on my page? I love her so much. Watch, she's going to be like a super problematic person. I don't know anything about her, but I do love her content. It makes me very happy. So anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you see a problem with it, with the overconsumption, with the rage bait, with the moral bankruptcy, with the cycle of like, she posts videos to garner sympathy and then she does something that's going to piss people off. And then from there, she does something to make herself seem more relatable. And then it's just like a cycle. And you know, it's funny, even on the Just Trish podcast, Moses even brought this up because Oscar, or maybe was it Oscar and Trish, or was it her sister? No, it was her sister. They were saying like, yeah, Michaela was like crying about, you know, people saying that she looks different in person and blah, blah, blah. And then they were saying like, yeah, you know, it's angles, it's lighting, it's blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, it's not. But that does feed into a little bit of it, of course. But Moses came in and he is like, but that's what she does. She cries in videos. She gets people to feel bad for her. And then this is like every 4 months she does this. And I was like, clock it, Moses. Hell yeah.
The only issues I have, and it's like not issues with her, I think in general showing stuff is like, one, makes you a target. Two, yeah, you could like make other people feel bad. Or it's more like, again, not Michaela specifically, but like influencers just like rubbing in the face how much money they make versus someone who's like struggling when they work 4 jobs. My mom was like that, you know, all that stuff like that. And ultimately, I also think, because I see myself in her, is like, ooh, 186,000 is a lot in one trip. And like she could be making $1 million a month. I'm just saying like, ooh, you're just like, I don't know. It does something to your soul.
Anyways, so I hope you know that your butt looks good. You don't need to buy a bunch of hideous shit from Louis Vuitton. You don't need overconsumption in your life. All you need is my YouTube channel. So subscribe and your butt will look a billion times better. That's guaranteed. It's been studied. It is, yeah. If you do not subscribe tonight, you will wake up at 3:47 a.m. and you will have a sleep paralysis demon sitting on your chest that looks like Michaela, no filter, screaming in your face with that accent, going Kim Kardashian, just so close to your face. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want that. So I'm going to subscribe to my own channel. All right. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, weekend, whenever you're watching this. Stay spicy, stay feral, stay delusional, and assertive. And again, your butt looks good, but only if you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, you're dead to me. And I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.